Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is Tuesday the 20th of March 2018. Let's have a look at what's making the political headlines today. So this is the big story of the day in terms of Brexit, and indeed a big event in the whole of the Brexit negotiations. The transition deal has largely been agreed between David Davis, the Brexit Secretary, and Michel Barnier, the EU's chief negotiator. This was announced yesterday evening, and of course been making the headlines in most of the UK press as well. Now, what actually is the final deal in terms of this transition period between leaving in March 2019 and the final arrangement, which we're going to get to in the next few months? Well, there's been concessions on both sides. Let's just take you through them. The transition deal actual length is going to be 21 months, not the 24 months that was initially suggested, a little bit shorter than that by 3 months. In terms of trade agreements, the UK gets a big win here. The UK is able to sign off its own trade agreements whilst being in this transition period, something which has been a contested issue for a number of months now. Now, that was a Brussels concession which the UK received. What did the UK give in return? Well, EU citizens will basically have the same rights throughout the transition period as they do currently, and that includes residency rights as well. So there we go, you can see there are two concessions happening mutually between the UK and the EU. Ireland, there is, however, no real agreement yet on Ireland, at least no reported agreement on Ireland. However, there has been an agreement that the backstop option, which the EU did propose, which effectively means that Northern Ireland would stay completely aligned with the Republic of Ireland in the event that no agreement could be made regarding the border. That is now the official backstop position, so that is now going to be adopted in terms of the transition period. So the Northern Ireland would stay completely aligned with the Republic of Ireland to preserve a completely status quo in terms of that border, reducing any likelihood of any kind of border happening between the two countries. Joint committee to settle disputes made up of EU and UK representatives. And in terms of defence and security, the UK is allowed to opt in, or rather opt out as well, of the cooperation and crime-fighting measures as well. So businesses are very happy. The pound climbed quite significantly at the news. Conservative MPs also, even those Brexiteers, are relatively happy with this result. They're saying that this is a good base on the assumption and on the basis that this goes into a good trade deal as well. That is the key thing for Theresa May and David Davis to now have to deliver as part of this transition arrangement. There is one issue, however. If I look at the Telegraph front page, you'll see it has hit the headlines, and that is to do with the fisheries policy. Now, the fishing industry was very much campaigned in the sense of this is the destructive effect of the EU. The common fisheries policies has not been good for UK fishermen. What's going to happen during that transition period is pretty much the status quo. The UK is largely going to remain inside the common fisheries policy, and the EU would consult with the UK regarding the 2020 fisheries negotiations, and the share of the total catch with the UK will not be changed or cannot be changed during that transition period. But for many, it's seen as a sellout. They wanted Brexit to mean the end of the total control of fishing waters from March 2019. And you can see some response, particularly from some Scottish MPs, Conservative MPs as well. Now, no, providing this is all approved at the council meeting on Thursday and Friday, we're now going on to the official start of the future trade arrangements in the next few months. That's to look forward to coming up. Next up, a company which offers dirty election tricks. Now, the Information Commissioner, Elizabeth Dunham, will seek a court warrant to examine Cambridge Analytica databases and servers after they failed to provide access yesterday. Now, what she's looking for then, what she said she's looking for, is to try and understand how the company processes and also used data. Now, what is Cambridge Analytica? It is a high-tech consultant using data to pinpoint groups, so to design messages which have a massive impact on their audience. Now, an undercover investigation by Channel 4, in conjunction with the Observer newspaper, uncovered video of executives of the company speaking about the dark arts of particularly political campaigning. Now, this includes entrapping rival candidates, creating fake bribe stings, which obviously are then recorded on video or audio, even hiring sex workers to seduce rival politicians and candidates as well in running for political office. Now, the Observer is also reporting on top of that that Cambridge Analytica had unauthorised access to tens of millions of Facebook profiles, and this is particularly in relation to the Donald Trump campaign, and therefore was able to use those profiles to some extent in terms of messaging and political campaigning. Now, Cambridge Analytica deny any suggestion of doing anything wrong regarding Facebook data, and indeed have accused Channel 4, the Channel 4 investigation, of containing false claims, factual inaccuracies and substantial mischaracterizations, but expect some more on this story to be coming through. The main broadcast went out last night on Channel 4. The Observer and Guardian are running with this quite heavily. There's probably more angles and more waves of this news story to come out in the next few days as well. Finally, one more story. The UKIP, United Kingdom Independence Party, gaining millions of votes, about 4 million votes in 2015 election, is now reportedly facing bankruptcy. Now, this is according to the Guardian newspaper, after it was presented with a legal bill of £175,000 for its part in legal costs in a defamation case against UKIP MEP Jane Collins. And now this was in favour of 3 Rotherham MPs, so Kevin Barron, Sarah Champion and John Healey, particularly in relation to Collins' accusation of ignoring child sex abuse in Rotherham. Now, UKIP can either appeal or the party must find the cash, the £175,000, in the next fortnight, and that there poses the problem. The party itself, though, is in a turbulent time. It's lost its 3rd leader since 2016 after Henry Bolton resigned. And also, you know, there's a lot of money to try and raise. Whether it'll be able to do it faces these big question marks above its head for a party that was so prominent, particularly in the build-up to the Brexit referendum, and indeed getting the Brexit referendum itself. It's interesting, I suppose, how quickly things can change in politics. UKIP have been contacted for comment, nothing coming through yet, but that might change in the next few hours. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic start to your Tuesday.